Hi everyone, and welcome to mHUB Inside. It's the end of the year, so we are celebrating by doing something special to count down to the new year, 2022.
We've recruited a bunch of our members to make some really cool numbers to help populate our calendar here. It's going to go all the way down to 31. They're going to use a whole bunch of different processes in the building, showing and utilizing a bunch of our really cool tools.
So let's jump to some footage of us populating this calendar with numbers, and we'll get into a little bit of machining, and then we'll meet you back here in a conversation corner so we can talk to some of the makers about how they did it. So we'll see you there. Hi everyone, welcome to Conversation Corner, where we are going to speak to some of our number makers about the numbers they selected and the inspirations they had and how they made them. Our first guests are Tyler and Corey, who are mHUB members. Introduce yourself, please.
Hey guys, Tyler. I am a mechanical engineer here at mHUB. I specialize basically in anything from initial product design all the way through supply chain relations and product launch.
Nate?
I'm Corey Davis. I'm also a mechanical engineer, and I mostly work with fluid simulation.
Perfect, great.
Very
so we're
cool.
going to jump right in and talk about your number. Which one did you guys pick?
We had 22 right here in the center.
A
Bring this
beauty,
down without
a
breaking it down.
beauty.
And knocking everything else over. I gotta say, this is a really wicked number, and I actually wasn't certain I know how they did it now, but I want you to explain, because I had to ask, what's the process?
So I'll let Corey talk about the technical stuff, but basically what we wanted to do was create something that you can only do with 3D printing. So Corey and I use 3D printing pretty much every day, all the time. You always see my printer running on my desk. So we wanted to kind of showcase our skills and everything that we've been able to learn here in building our number.
So Corey, tell us a little bit about how you made it from design to print.
Yeah, so the design for it is actually pretty simple. It's just the number 22 sort of floating in space inside of a cube. But we were actually able to utilize some of the infill patterns that are available in slicers to sort of give this notion of the 22 floating in the air. And we really liked that by having it kind of set back, you could only view the 22 from like a certain angle. You have to kind of really get it head on, otherwise it has this sort of a snowflake looking, winter theme that we have going on. And so we actually made this using it's a printer that only has one color filament, so we were able to use multiple print processes to basically we created the twos first in their own separate process, and then we printed the white infill up to a certain point, paused the print, inserted the twos, and then continued the print, so it would continue printing on top of that. And then we did the sheath separately as well, or sort of the black frame there, which we were able to slide over the top. And then
Tight
nice.
fit.
and the
And you
very
3D printed the frame then as
That is a
well.
tight
Yeah.
and there's actually a 2 layers of clear on the back as well to sort of give it this sort of pass-through light effect.
Yeah.
And then the final finishing touch was on the very tip. We have 2 layers of gold shimmer to sort of make it pop.
It's truly impressive.
Just something that's just 2 numbers floating in a cube, able to use a lot of the sort of slicer and 3D printing tricks to really make it more
What
interesting.
printer did you use, and what slicer engine did you use?
We used Prusa. I guess we used the Prusa MK3 and then also the Prusa Mini, and both of those were on the Prusa slicer.
Cool.
And my Ender CR10 V2.
And the ender. Yeah. Well, all right, so the other question is, how many times did it take to get this? Because oftentimes you get a little spider web or something along those lines. And
That is The second, that is Mark II.
All right.
That is,
Amazing.
Hey, no, to get this, like I was blown away. To get this out of 2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It took us more time to get the numbers, like the 2s, right, than it did for the.
That's
yeah.
impressive. All right.
So the sort of the white infill material is PETG,
Okay.
and then the numbers are PLA. And so I think we had some trouble with getting the PETG to stick to the PLA,
PLA,
the
yeah.
very first layer.
Okay.
That was the only sort of hiccup in the printing. Other than that, it was really smooth sailing.
This thing is wicked cool.
Yeah, well done. Thank you
Thank you.
for joining us and talking to us about your 22.
Thank you very much, guys.
Let's welcome the next guest to the chair.
Cheers.
And we're back with Nitin, who is an mHUB member. Welcome to Conversation Corner, Nitin.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're working on.
Okay. My name is Nitin Chittal. I just started a company called Newmorpho Cybernetics to combine engineering and technology together to build compelling products and a smart manufacturing system.
Nate.
Very cool.
Great elevator pitch.
Yeah, that's a
Love
lot.
it.
That's a lot.
So many follow-up questions, but we'll save that for another conversation. Today we're going to talk about the number that you made for our holiday calendar.
Yes.
What number were you?
So I was number 26.
Okay, let me get this right behind my head. None of you can see it until I reveal it over the shoulder. 26.
And this one is full of symbolism and
Full of
meaning.
things. Yeah. What I did here was looked at 26, and 26 is the number of letters in the alphabet, in the English alphabet, and then it's the number of red cards and number of black cards in a card deck,
Interesting.
and then it's the number of bones in the human foot. So I checked with the MedTech Accelerator group,
Yes.
and they said yes, 26 bones.
We fact-checked it. Great.
Okay.
And then it's Tony Stark's favorite number because it's the atomic number of iron.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. And then at the very bottom, I have, it's the diversity pitch, right? It's Greek and Roman, the first one. The second one is Chinese and Japanese.
Ah, cool.
The third one is Cherokee Indian, because we always forget the
Sure.
real Cherokee Indians. And the fourth one is Indian like me. But it's funny that if we say chubby 6 and then 20 rather than
Sure.
26.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the one after that is binary.
Mhm.
And then the last one is Vulcan from Mr. Spock of Star Trek.
Amazing. We got to get that
Yeah.
in there.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's my pitch.
That's
So
And then
much.
it's
well,
also my birthday on the 26th of December.
yeah.
this is-
So
I
it's
won't
so
tell
great.
you what age I am, but I'm
Well,
definitely not 26.
26. Yeah.
I'll be 21 though.
That is a lot of symbolism all in one thing. I'm really glad that you picked the 26 because you
Yeah.
just kind of went for it, and that's pretty awesome. How did you make this?
I used the UV printer with your help, of course, and you
I did
could
nothing.
give it.
I did nothing.
Yeah.
And you laid it out and,
And I laid it out
yeah.
in PowerPoint, converted it to PDF,
Oh.
and printed it. And
What-
it took 2 minutes.
So this is actually originally a white canvas, but what's
It's a
really cool about the UV printer, just as a little technical side note, is it allows you to print in white, which is normally something that you can't do.
Yeah.
Typically, you're just doing CMYK, so it's gradients, and then white is going to be your paper, and that's why you're able to get such a nice delineation of the cream in the scroll
Yeah.
work on the actual print.
Yeah.
So that's just a little fun fact about UV printing.
Yeah, and although I cheated a little bit and got the polygon from Google,
Sure.
I'm actually going to draw it out in CAD.
Oh, nice. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so,
Awesome.
Great.
it's
So-
a combination of engineering and fun facts. that
Yeah, yeah.
I used.
So when you picked the number 26, did you always know where you were going with it? All these symbols that stood out to you?
Not really. I had originally picked 24,
Okay.
but then Quinn said that's not good.
It's not
because
available.
That's how the
I was
cookie
making
crumbles.
a 24-hour clock, and it was too big.
Also
And it was
clever.
all Roman, and he said no Roman.
I didn't say no Romans. I just said I need like specifically the number large and in the middle, and you got 1 through 24 already on here, and you did really good with 26. I want to give you a challenge.
I'm glad we landed here.
And
And it's
then
your birthday.
Then,
And-
yeah, it was my birthday, so I said, okay,
Yeah,
do something
you
about
did,
it.
you did real good.
Great.
You
Yeah.
took the assignment and you did it well.
Yes. Nitin, thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining us
Thank
at
you for-
Conversation Corner. We'll
Thanks.
jump to our next guest.
Thanks, guys.
So welcome our next guest, Kate Kelly, to Conversation Corner, who actually happens to be one of our colleagues. Kate, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Kate Kelly. I work in the accelerator program here at mHUB. We just wrapped up our IoT one, and I'll be working on the energy and climate tech program next. So
Very exciting.
working with this was a little bit different.
And what number did you do?
I did lucky number 13.
Oh, little polar bear. Let me get him off and see if I can not knock everything over.
So why 13?
Adorable.
I wanted 13 because I went to Colgate University and we love the number 13 there. It's part of our founding story, and it was founded by 13 men with $13 and 13 prayers. So we really embrace it. So for me, it's a lucky number.
Love it. And so tell us a little bit about how you made it.
So he is 3D printed with some PLA Plus that I got. I printed him on the Ender printer, and I used a file that I got from Thingiverse and then modified on Tinkercad and used Cura to slice it and actually prepare the file to be printed.
Now, is this your first one?
No, far from it. I had a few 3D printing fails before I got here.
It happens. There's some spaghettification when it doesn't want to stick, or there's a clog in a nozzle, so it's just part of the process.
Yep, everything looks fine, and then I come back a few hours later, and it's just
No.
plastic
Right.
everywhere.
You want to
Yes.
set it and forget it, but it doesn't always happen.
No.
I've seen a couple of these on your desk in like different size and formats.
Yeah,
They're super cute.
I'm known for making these, so that's why I was asked to do this.
And this one you found, you said this said Happy New Year or New Year.
Yeah, so this one was like holding a sign. It's actually removable, so you can change it. But initially said Happy New Year, so I had to modify it to make it say the number 13. Initially it was a bigger 13, but then it was too big for the box, so I had to shrink it down a little bit so he would fit. So this is, I'd say like a third or fourth prototype.
Hey, no, I gotta say, this is a fantastic print. It almost looks like there's no supports or anything. Did you have to clean this up, or?
There were supports on there. I snapped them off. Yeah, I think the first one I
impressive.
printed without supports, and it did not work.
And
So.
it didn't do great, but no, this thing is a very good print, especially like the fact that this isn't something you're typically dealing with on a daily basis. Good job, you got all your settings in perfect. Honestly, there's no sanding marks or anything. I can't tell. Looks like it just
Yeah, well, I didn't
came
sand
out
it,
perfect.
so there
I know.
shouldn't be sanding
that-
marks.
normally there'll be little supports where you snapped off a little nub you're gonna hit, but no, this looks fantastic. So good job. Maybe we're just gonna send all the 3D printing jobs through you.
All right, a new business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bravo, Kate.
Yeah, good
Thank
job.
you for joining us.
Yeah, this is fun.
Let's talk to our next guest. And now we're joined by David, another mHUB member. David, welcome to Conversation Corner.
Hi, thanks. Nice to be here.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So my company's Skate Castle. We make products for like the electric, skateboards and motorized, like personal electric vehicle industry.
Yes.
You may have seen them zooming around. We primarily CNC and manufacture our products out of like aluminum or steel right here in Chicago, actually.
And
You would actually, if you look at a couple of videos back, you'll see us making a palette for some of your stuff. So
Yes,
another video to
yes,
watch.
Yeah. So.
what number did you make?
So we actually got a 2-for-1 out of our numbers.
Lucky
We
us.
made 31,
This guy right here.
and how we made it was we actually CNC'd a plastic injection mold for one of the pieces of equipment we have here at mHUB, the Morgan Press. It's a 20-ton plastic injection molder. It has a base, you can go up to like 8 by 11 inches with it, and we actually injected ours with polypropylene. So we CNC'd 31, so you can see the two halves of the mold here,
Yeah.
and how they clamshell. There's pins on one side, and they actually just clamshell together, so you
Yeah.
guys can kind of check that out.
So what's
Love
nice
it.
about this mold, the way it was designed, is you could do 1 separately. It is 31. It has 2 separate injection ports on the top, 2 separate alignment pins, so it actually gets run separately. So just a really smart, efficient way to make a mold.
And we got a 3 out of it.
Okay.
Yes, so while the 1 was covered, we actually got a 3 out of it, so you can see the 3 right there. Like I said, it was a white polypropylene was what we injected it with, and had a little bit of fine tuning. This was one of the first ones we got out, so you can see almost there, but needed to be tuned in. So we were happy to finally get that out.
Yeah,
And
no, it's fantastic. And not many people have used the injection mold, and we're just glad that someone's utilizing it for something cool, and hopefully you're going to have a product or something come through there yourself.
Yeah. So
So does the number 31 mean anything to you, or was it just?
I mean, I just figured, we had to finish the month strong with the
You really, and
Saving the
as
best for last.
being
Yeah.
our
In
New
your
Year's
opinion.
video, it really is
it's
a
gonna
great
be-
number to select.
I'll take one of these out with me for New Year's Eve.
Lovely. Put your
Just
drink
wear it
on
on a
it.
chain.
Well, David, thank you for being here and talking to us about your number.
Cool.
Thank you very much. This was awesome. Good job.
Appreciate it.
So that was so great talking to some of our number makers in details about their inspirations. There's so much that we didn't get to cover. So let's talk about some honorable mentions before we say goodbye for the year.
So they're not my favorites because I'm not allowed to have favorites because you shouldn't have favorites. But a couple that I have to mention just because the ideas are cool, really cool, or the execution was really cool. I really like 16s. That was Tanya. She couldn't be here to talk about hers. It reminds me of like the pow, the bang from
Yeah,
comics.
it's
and
animated.
It's bright, and when we
Yeah.
first turned it on, it kind of blinded all of us, and we're like, whoa.
Great color selection
exactly.
too. Yeah.
17 is a gearing custom linkage system that one of our members, Constantine, put together. And there's a battery missing, but the whole thing actually collapses down into nothing and then expands into 17, and it just does that on repeat. It's a custom bevel gear and linkage system. Yeah, really wicked.
Have you seen that working?
I have. It needs a little love, but it works
It
pretty
will.
good. And then last but not least, mostly just kind of explain what it was, is one that was done by one of our members, Matt. It is the lunar surface where the Apollo 14 landing happened. And they CNC engraved it out of a chunk of aluminum.
So great.
It's just like, when you
For
hear
number
14,
14.
for number 14, like, yeah, I was like, all right, that's just a really cool thing to figure out. Like, what do I do for 14? Let's
Yeah.
do the lunar.
Abstract interpretation.
Exactly. So all of them are fantastic. They're all
They really
amazing. Really happy some of the tools got used because some of them are a little less used in the space. But those are just some honorable mentions.
Yeah, so great. So I have one more treat before we
Treat?
leave for the year.
Treat?
So
cool.
stay here, I'll be right back. For you.
Oh, I think I might know what's coming.
Would you do the honors, Quinn?
I think I might.
I'm gonna step out of the way.
Please don't judge me too much if it doesn't work the first time.
Woo! And it did. You weren't expecting that, were you?
I wasn't. Normally it takes me a couple of times to get it right, but I'm gonna play with swords here a little bit
Here you go.
to the new year.
Cheers. Cheers to the new year, Quinn. Cheers to you. Cheers to you for being with us when we launched this channel this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot to have your support, and we look forward to continue producing videos for you in the new year. So as always, let us know if there's things you want to see. This was very inclusive of all of the equipment and resources that we have access to.
See you in 2022.
Happy New Year. Bye.